Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. It's gonna be another hot one, y'all.
We're gonna do quite a bit of work in the garden across the creek, and I guess see where the rest of the day brings us. It is gonna be hot though. I think it's what, 94.5 today?
Yeah, and for here, that's super hot.
Especially
in
for June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you want to show them right here where we're at, our black-eyed peas have really, they've come up pretty good, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a cucumber popping up there and one right over there. We got black-eyed peas coming up around the trellis. They're looking pretty good. I don't think every seed come up, but you know what? They may have, actually. Squash coming up there. The squash that was over here hadn't popped up yet, so it may not come up. But we got black-eyed peas coming up all around this. Everything's looking good out here. We got some weeds coming in it.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
There's squash or zucchini, whatever it is. I can't remember now. But now the sunflowers that we stuck in the ground out here, they haven't come up yet. But everything else is. It'd be real pretty to see this when it's twisting around.
Well, let's head down here and get this done before it gets too hot.
All right. This is the fun part, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
Taking down this mess. What are you looking at?
I was trying to figure out them two's tied together, how you done this here.
Oh, they're just tied every which way. You're just gonna have to unhook it all and take it one side to the garden to the other.
Yeah, I guess that's, yeah.
I'll get in a minute and get it. Our plan today is, you know, we still ain't got no rain. I was hoping for some rain before I actually cultivated through this garden. The corn is gonna get too tall to cultivate again, so we need to go ahead and get through it. Since we're going through the trouble of taking all the ribbon and the fencing and everything else down, we might as well cultivate the whole thing. So, quick update here. You can see our Dixie Lee peas out through there, how good they look. They haven't had the first drop of rain on them. The October beans, the purple hulls are here, and green beans here. Like we said earlier, this little spot right here drowned back when we was actually getting rain.
Ain't it funny you go from one extreme to the other?
Well, that's exactly what we've done this year. So what we're going to do is get in here and work this garden today. Then we also have a way figured out, I think, that we're going to be able to water this thing, but we're going to try it out. But first, we've got to get all the working done. And I guess you missed it on the last video we done down here. But I have seen several comments wanting to know how my 30-year-old corn done. Well, there's how it done. Not one kernel come up. We dug some seed out of the ground, and the seed itself just pretty much rotted in the ground. Evidently it was no good, and I wasn't surprised. And I'm not brokenhearted about it. But you know what this does is, since we have these 3 rows right here opened up, this is where I'm going to plant our late crop of sweet corn. Just lay that on the back of the Kubota, I reckon, or lean it up against the Kubota or something. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Here, you got mine.
Let's take them over to the side. So what you been doing, Jacob?
We've been filling up with Apple's water. It used to be just a little water strip right there. And then me and Maggie filled it up.
They've been toting water from the creek in this bucket right here because there's tadpoles in this mud hole and they're trying their best to keep them from drying up.
Yeah, huh? Them over there done dried up.
Yeah, I know. All the other mud holes around here have dried up.
Yeah, huh?
Well, you
But
know
maybe you're saving these.
You know it's dry when that mud hole dries up.
Yeah, this mud hole here never dries up, but if they hadn't been kept putting water in it, it would have.
Yep, them little tadpoles, I'm sure, are thankful for that.
Just about too tall to plow. That last row over there, I don't know if I'll be able to plow it or not.
Well,
We got it.
yeah. And I think that'll stand back up.
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't bend it down too bad.
No, it didn't.
The sun will.
It was just about too
Yeah.
tall to plow through though.
Well, the thing is, right, the sun will pull it back.
Oh yeah, the sun will pull it up. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I plowed my field corn that I plowed up the road. The last time I plowed it, it was taller than that. However, that farm offset's just a tad bit higher than this
Right.
Kubota does. That's the one thing that I have noticed about this Kubota here is you don't have quite the ground clearance you have
On
with
that
one of those
farm
Farmall
all.
140s.
Right. Well,
And
now
that makes
what?
a difference when you're doing that right there.
Now what, boss man?
I don't know, it's hot.
I know.
I done got hot just riding this tractor. I guess we'll plant that corn.
Okay.
And then I think I want to go ahead and plant us a row of beans down maybe a row or two of this corn here.
Oh, the blue lake.
Yeah, the Blue Lakes.
The
or not the Blue Lake,
Kentucky
the Kentucky Blue Wonders.
yeah,
The climbing beans.
yeah. All right.
So y'all hear us talking about how this creek garden holds moisture. I mean, here we are. What?
We counted up as a month.
It has been a month.
Yeah.
So it's been a month since rain. And down underneath the top layer of soil is still like that right there. This down here holds the water. That's why in a wet year, this garden don't do that good.
So down here for our late corn, we're gonna plant Serendipity instead of Honey Select. And we're using the Hoss planter. We tried Serendipity for the first time last year, and it was equally.
We liked it.
It was equally as good as Honey Select, so that's what our late corn's gonna be.
Yep, we like this a lot.
Now, last time we planted sweet corn, we had a lot of folks asking why our seeds are pink.
Why our seeds was what?
Pink.
Oh yeah. So these are treated seeds. They have
Fungicide on
a
them.
fungicide on them, and basically that fungicide just keeps it from like what they call dampening off, or where basically the roots will rot. You know, there's a little fungus that'll get on corn like and do such as that. But that's what it is. It's a treated seed. It's got a coating on it, or you call them coated seeds, treated seeds, whatever you want to call them. But honestly, I didn't know you could buy sweet corn untreated.
That's all you can get here.
But at one time, I didn't realize you could do that. But yeah, locally here, that's all you can get is treated corn seed. There ain't no other. There's nothing else to buy.
But now Hoss
does offer
untreated
seeds. Man, the flies is after me. Even he recommends you get treated seeds. I didn't know. Now he was talking about the other day that they make a treated bean seed. I had never seen those. But it helps you out like with germination and everything. You know, all of it'll germinate, but as soon as it germinates, if a fungus or something attacks that, especially when you're putting it into some cool, damp soils like in the early spring, treated seeds is the way to go. Now, this time of year where it's going to come up and grow fast, it's probably not going to matter near as much. But that's what they are. They're treated seeds. All I done was run through these rows with the cultivators. Being that we've had no rain, there's really not much weed or anything that come up in them. So I'm just going to plant right back down the same planter track where I planted that other corn. And we should do fine with that. I hope there's enough moisture in there to get it sprouted. But you know what? I don't guess we got to worry about that, do we? Because we're hopefully going to have this thing watered this season.
Yep. I think if we could get one good watering, since this down here holds moisture so good, we should be good for a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just need that top layer to get wet.
Yeah.
Because y'all can see down deep, I mean, she's got plenty of water in her.
Yeah.
We need that top layer to be wet. I'm making sure it's planting.
So I do want to show y'all something real quick while we're down here. Our fencing system that we use down here has worked for years and years and years, keeping the deer out. It's kind of like a 3D fence, I guess you would call it, and it freaks them out, and usually they won't jump it. And we keep power on that bottom run, so they'll get shocked. You've heard us talk about the deer pressure here, though. And we don't know if the fence does not have power on it once we plug this net in because of the grass. That's something we've got to figure out, though. But you can see that right there is deer damage. And once they find it, they'll be back. See there? They did a number on this down here. So I think Andy's gonna come back later and mow around this net to make sure we've got like really good power on it, so that if they do touch it or try to come through it, that they get shocked. But something that I've noticed since we've been in this drought in this area is I've seen a lot of deer moving during the day, which is not something you really see. You either see them early in the morning or you see them late in the evening right before it gets dark. But a lot of times you don't see them moving during the day. But, you know, going down the road from here to 5 miles down the road to the store, I mean, you might see 5 or 6, 7 or 8, you know, cross the road in front of you, out in somebody's yard. So I'm wondering if they ain't getting extra hungry because stuff is drying up like it is. And so they're willing to do more to get to the food. I don't know. But yeah, he come through. And we're about 100% sure it's a deer. Where it was so dry, we can't see no tracks, but it's what we get for trying to grow food in the middle of the woods. Ain't that right, dear?
Yeah, probably foolish trying to grow food down here, but man, this garden sure does do good.
Yeah, it's a good garden.
So I'm going to use that same corn plate on these beans. I just played with it over there a while ago, and the bean plate, the holes are just a tad bit too small. I mean, not much, but just a tad bit. So I'm going to use that same corn plate. The beans will probably be planted pretty thick, but
That'd be all right.
yeah, that'll be all right. So here's the beans we're going to plant. Kentucky blue pole beans. They're obviously a pole bean. That's why we're planting them beside the corn. And we did this
A couple of years ago.
yeah, maybe it's been about 2 years ago. And it worked great down here. We just honestly kind of come through and planted the beans and forgot about them. And then we were down here checking on it, what, a month or so later, and we had beans everywhere all through that popcorn. And they were a really good bean.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've probably got enough green beans planted, but we're just going to do it to, once again, because we like growing stuff.
And actually, we were hanging out with Aaron and Caitlin of Sparks Forge last night, and he said that he'd been already canning a pile of beans.
Yeah, he had a bunch that
he had a bunch come in. So y'all be sure to check him out over there.
We haven't canned any yet.
With his garden and stuff. I ain't got none to can.
All of ours are late now because we had to replant.
Well, that's true.
When we planted the first batch down here, and the crows pulled them all up, and so we had to go and plant a second batch. And we've got blooms. We just don't have beans yet.
Yep, and if the deer keep on.
I think we're going to be fine, but I mean, I don't know about this deer. I've never really had a deer get through this fencing I've got down here, and it makes me wonder if it's really a deer. So let's get these beans planted because it's getting hot, and we need to try out our water setup. Since this is not going to get cultivated anymore, I'm just basically running it on this ridge, and those beans will just naturally find their way to the corn. I tell you something. This corn was just about too big to plow. Like, that'll definitely stand back up. But it was pushing the limits of it right there. So, hopefully, this right here is our solution to watering that garden down across the creek. Give you a little backstory. We had a water pump at one time. I cheaped out and bought the absolute cheapest water pump off Amazon I could get, gas water pump.
This has been 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that we had a dry spell. I guess it's been that long ago now, and we got worried about it. And I bought what I thought was going to be a decent water pump. It had good reviews on it, but it was one of the El Cheapos on Amazon that I guess probably a Chinese-made water pump. The engine actually ran great. The pump part is what we had problems with. We got it to finally pump water one time on that garden, and we got our water and we needed to get done with it, and then after that, like, that thing would just would not pump water. And I've been around a lot of water pumps, so you know, I had it primed. We used to use water pumps all the time for tobacco when we was planting tobacco and stuff. I had it primed right, I had everything going right, but it just would not pump water like it should have.
It was junk.
It was junk. But I'll have to say that it was one of the bigger, like 6.5 horsepower pumps. I only paid $89 for it on Amazon, so what do you expect? But this time, you know, we didn't, ever since then, we ain't really had a water pump, but we ain't needed one. And I told Megan, I said, we're not cheaping out this time. I said, I'm going to get one that I feel like should be good. Now, this is not near as big of a water pump.
Let's see, what's the number right here?
It's,
WX10T.
Yeah, a Honda WX10T. But this is a water pump that, for what we're going to use it for, I feel like should be adequate. It is a Honda. But this one should run water hoses just fine. I wouldn't want to be pumping thousands and thousands of gallons of water with it, filling up 1,000-gallon water tanks like we used to in the bike and stuff. I wouldn't want to do that with it. But for what we're going to do, I do believe it'll be just fine. And it actually came as a kit. Ain't it cute? I mean, it's just as cute as it can be. But it came with a kit where we have the screen to go on the end of it. I'm assuming that the suction hose is in this, because with a water pump, you can't just use a regular water hose as your hose to suck the water because it'll collapse. You've got to have like a heavy duty type hose for it to work.
And we got this from Northern Tool,
Yes.
but you can find them on Amazon.
Yeah, we'll leave a link to them just in case anybody's interested in one. I mean, they are pricey, but it's a Honda. And I can tell you, me being in the landscape business, that you can't beat a Honda engine. There's no better small engine than a Honda. I've put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on Honda engines, and I don't have not one complaint about a Honda engine. But see how this hose here has got the ribs in it? That's to keep it strong so that when this thing is sucking water, it doesn't collapse in the hose. But like I said, all of this came as a kit, which is the other reason I wanted this particular one. So I pretty much had everything I needed to get water on that garden. It even come with an adapter to screw on this that a water hose will screw right onto. So we should, I'm not sure if it came with oil or not. We're going to find out.
Well, at least we got a nice breeze coming through.
No, it doesn't have no oil. So let me go get some oil real quick, and then we're going to have to get some gas. And we should be ready to roll with this little thing. So it turns out it actually did have oil in it. I guess the oil was so clear I couldn't see it on the dipstick, and when I go to add oil to it, it starts running out the hole here. So, and we'll throw some gas in this thing. We've already got the water hoses. I got the nozzle. That should be all we need, ain't it?
I think so.
Okay. And I think we will set it in a bucket when we get down there. But I was thinking about that. I thought that'll keep the dirt and everything from sucking up into that.
Yeah, that's what I was
hose.
thinking, yeah.
What is that?
I will say one thing I like about this pump is it's lightweight. So it's going to be easy for us to carry from one place to the other.
That other thing was huge we used to have.
Yeah, it was a lot bigger than this. But, I mean, a pump that size will pump a whole lot more water too.
Well, if it worked.
If it worked, yeah. Uh-oh.
Easy, hoss.
That little gas tank filled up quick.
Now the booger's gonna smell like gas.
It'll dry quick. Let's just make sure it runs before we put it down there in the creek. How many pulls?
4.
4? It's a Honda. It ain't gonna take that.
How many you think?
1. Uh-oh.
1,
2.
2. Oh. 3.
All right. Don't want to run a water pump long without having water flow through.
You want this bucket?
Yes. So I'm gonna put the strainer down in the bucket like that right there, and that'll help any sediment or anything that's on the bottom of the creek. That way the pump doesn't suck it up and it's just sucking up just pure water.
All right.
Now let's set it right there.
And just sink it?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah.
It's a good deep spot.
Now what I need Jacob, go get that other bucket and let me pour some water in this to prime it.
You want a big giant rock? What are you doing?
Boy, it pulls that little motor.
Thank you, dear.
Kill it, Shell.
All right, now we need to hook up water hoses.
So we're just gonna go through and water each individual one. If we can give this a good soaking down here, I believe it'll be all right.
Well, guys, I'm just a little bit disappointed in this Honda right here. Maybe it's because it's new, it's not broke in yet or something, but it's running perfect and then it dies. It just shuts off. I have to go back and start it back and then it'll run good again. It's just as soon as I think I've got it right and it's working right, I'll walk up here to see how it's working and it'll die. But other than that, I mean, it is pumping water.
I got really, really good water pressure.
You say what?
I have really, really good water pressure.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
If it would just stay running. That other water pump we had wouldn't even do what this one's doing right now. So real quick here, if you're wondering why in the world are we dragging a water hose through here instead of setting a sprinkler on it, where this garden is so big, I know if we set up one of these tripod sprinklers that I've got a lot of dead space out here that I'd have to water. So like you'd be watering all this space between the rows. I'd be watering this empty space right here around the pumpkins. And we just feel like that would just be wasting a whole lot of water. So we were like, surely it can't take that much time to drag a water hose up and down the rows here. And kind of sounds like the pump might be running right now. Oh, I spoke too soon. It just quit.
Well, it's running like a little longer each time.
That's true. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed it works this time. But anyways, that's why we're running a water hose and not an actual tripod sprinkler down here, is because we figured we'd save a lot more water if we just walked up and down the rows. It is going to be sort of a pain to drag a water hose up and down the road, but like I said, at the same time, we're not wasting a lot of water either. Ain't that something what we'll go through just to grow something?
Well, I don't know what you want to do.
I guess. Some people go up here and instead of buying a water pump, they'd have probably took a weekend and went out on a boat or something. Not worried about no garden. I guess it depends on how bad you want it, don't it?
Yep, that's right.
I guess if that thing dies, holler at me, because I'm going to take and pull up all the netting and mow around the fence while we're down here working and go ahead and get us a good clean area for the fence to run.
All right.
Well, fingers crossed it don't go dead again. It sounds like it's finally cleared up. Boy, it's making mud, ain't it?
Yeah. It don't take much down here to make mud.
You should be all right now the way that is. I got that roll out of it.
Okay.
So far, we've run a whole tank of gas out of that little pump, and it ain't give us no more hiccups. So I'm guessing that maybe for whatever reason it just had to break in or something. I'm not sure what was going on with that. But it's running just fine now. And we've got these 5 rows right here watered. And I mean, we watered them good. They're good and soaked. They've almost turned into mud. So what's left is 3 rows of the new corn. And then this over here, the tomatoes. And I think I'm going to sprinkle some on the popcorn. But you know what? After as much time as this is taking, I think on this side of the garden right here, I might just try to use that tripod sprinkler. I think we can run it, let it run a tank of gas out on one spot, and then we'll move it. Do it that way.
All right.
Well, we took us a quick break from the garden here. We got one other thing we're going to try to take care of today. You want to tell them what you want to tackle?
It's time for the bull to go home, to his real home.
To his real home.
Yeah, we've had him about 2.5-ish months, maybe a little longer. So hopefully he's done his job, and yeah, time for him to go on to his next set of ladies.
That's right. We're hoping he's kind of got figured out what it means to see a trailer, and he's not going to be that hard to get on there. But we got to move a few things out of the way down here, and let's see. We're going to see if we can't pin him up under there where the horse is standing. So I've got to move the old John Deere out of the way.
Yeah, I'm probably going to just put the halter on Ty and get him out of the way.
Okay.
They like the barn too much, so he won't want to go out.
Who, Ty won't?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he won't
So
want to
I'll
leave.
just go tie him in the shade somewhere so he can eat some grass.
It's going to be tough backing in here with that fence, but I think I can do it
You
if I hug that post right there.
Think you can squeeze in here?
I'm going to try.
That's the only...
I know, it's where we put this stanchion here now. It's tight back in a trailer in here. But
Which
I
this
think we
happens,
can do
what,
it.
once a year, so it's...
Yeah,
like
we hardly ever have to load a cow up.
Yeah.
But
So-
he's fairly gentle, so
And
we'll see.
he loves sweet feed. That's what I'm going on.
Yeah, hoping you can lead him on there with some sweet
Yeah.
feed.
I'm going off of he loves sweet feed, and we'll just see what kind of mood he's in, I guess.
Well, before we get him up here, let me get this tractor out of the way.
Okay.
If it'll crank. You think it's going to crank?
We'll see. It's been, what, 6 months?
I don't know. I took it for a ride back in the spring.
Did you?
Yeah. She ain't never not cranked. Look at that. I don't think a new one would have cranked that easy.
No.
Well, it was probably in the wintertime when I took it for that ride up a road and back, and before that it hadn't been run since last fall.
Like a year, yeah.
When we done the corn picking over there at the festival.
Yeah.
I usually use it to rake hay and stuff with, but this year, where I got that other Ford, I used it. This thing's just slow driving it up and down the road, and where we have to travel from hayfield to hayfield, it's just very time consuming. Well, I guess I'll pull up in here and back down that way, and you'll just have to keep an eye on me.
Well, you
But what we'll do is leave enough room that them gates will swing out, and we can use them sort of almost like a funnel if we have to funnel him to the opening on the trailer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't let me back in there far enough that I'm against the gates is what I'm trying to say. That little wire's got power on it now. I hear it popping.
We have to have the gates horse-proof because Unknown to people that don't know much about horses, they're smart and they can open gates.
They get bored
Yeah.
and they just fiddle with something until it comes open.
Come on, baby. He said, what you taking me out from under my barn for?
Ty loves to stay under this barn right here. Boy, he's just shining in this camera.
You just hang out right here in the shade. You got some grass to nibble on. Oh. Keep on coming, you're all right.
You got enough room?
The only thing is, this one gate right here may be too short. Yep.
Boy, I'm close on this side. It fit, but barely. What's that?
For you to come back another 6 inches.
I can.
There you go. That'll probably do it. Hold on. All right.
That work?
Yeah.
I guess you got to do your magic now and get him up here.
I will.
Would you say that won't be hard?
As long as he don't try to run through these gates, I'll be all right.
You gonna try to load him on the trailer like right now, or you gonna get him up here first and then load him?
I'm going to get him up here and act like I'm going to feed him, but I'm going to put his feet in there.
You want me to be out of the way, or I need to
Yeah.
help you?
He don't know you.
You want me gone? Well, I'm gonna go take a tripods down there then, and set up some sprinklers.
Well, one thing that we've learned about cows through our few years in the cattle business, if the cow's not used to you, they don't tend to cooperate.
Yeah, stay out of
as
the way.
well.
Even though they know me and they see me all the time, I'm not down here working with them like Megan is.
Well, I might as well hang it up. If you get them tore up,
It's over with.
yep, might as well hang
They
it up
won't never do what-
for a few hours anyway.
They won't do what you want them to do.
Yeah,
Unless you've got a better handling system than what we got.
right.
If you had squeeze chutes and, the long, narrow troughs you could run them through, it would be
Right.
different.
We ain't got enough.
But we don't have none of that handling equipment.
Well, we ain't got enough cows for all that.
Yeah, there ain't no sense in having that. Anyways,
We make it work. Well, about like anything else around here, we just make do with what we got.
well, you close that gate right there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
As gentle as he is, he ain't.
Yeah, he's
He'll be fine.
pretty chill. So
You gonna get up in there with him, are you?
not with this one. I did the last one, but this one ain't quite as gentle as that other one.
You ain't scared of him, are you?
No, I'm not scared of him, but I don't want to be pinned up in there with him either. And plus, if I'm out here, I can run back here and close that gate.
Right.
Because that's what I was running
Well,
into.
that's why I was wondering if you needed me to run around here and close the gate.
Let me just see.
All right.
If he gets up in there eating, I think I can walk back here and close it.
Okay.
Is my thought anyway.
All right. Well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to take them 2 tripod sprinklers down there
Okay.
and see if it's going to run both of them.
Quasi will come up here when I go to hollering for him, so I'll probably have to get him out too.
Okay.
But, all right.
All right. I will stay out of your way.
Cow whisperer.
That's what you are, ain't it?
I don't know about all that. We fixing to find out.
I'm going to get started back on water and stuff here. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I think where the corn is so dry, it's not stood back up like it should have yet. Which there's no doubt in my mind that it will stand back up, because I've plowed corn a little bit taller than that before and almost knocked it over. And it'll still stand back up. But I guess it's where it's so dry, this is struggling standing back up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to set me one of those tripods up, probably right in here somewhere, and then run a hose out to the far end and set another one up out there and just see how it works. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to cover it all. I know I'm going to have to move some stuff around at some point. But the good thing with a gas water pump is once I've got this set up, I won't water it today where we're still in the middle of the day. With those tripod sprinklers, I'll get a lot of evaporation. So what I'll do is later this evening, once the sun goes behind the trees, I'll come down here, turn it on, and just let it run until it runs out of gas. And that's the great thing about a gas water pump, is you can just, it's almost like you have an automatic timer on it, even though you don't, it's not a timer, but it's kind of like you have one, because you can just let it run until it runs out of gas. And I just not like leaving the well turned on at the house thinking you're going to run the well dry. Chances are I'm probably not going to pump that creek dry with that little pump. So you can just let it run all night long, or run however. I think it'll probably run about an hour on a tank of gas from what I've seen. And it's got a small tank on it. It's like not much bigger than a weed eater tank. Matter of fact, I think Honda uses that same engine on their on the Honda weed eaters. So see, it's not a very big tank. But from what we were doing earlier, it seemed like it run about an hour on one tank of gas, and it'll probably pump quite a bit of gas. Quite a bit of water in an hour's time. So just in case anybody's wondering or wanting to do a setup like this themselves, I want to go ahead and mention that we are using 3/4 inch water hoses here. When running these tripod sprinklers, you want to get as much water flow as you can to them. They work well with the regular 5/8 water hose, but I have noticed that they get a whole lot better. You get a whole lot better distance and volume of water when you use these 3/4 inch hoses. Okay, so I got them set up. Got one in the corner here, and one out towards the far end, way out there. Once I get them going here, I'm going to get them adjusted like I want them. And then, like I said, I'll come back down here tonight and turn them on and let them run. But I can already tell you, I really believe that those pumpkins there and those Dixie Lee peas, I think they've grown since we watered them this morning. I really do. Make sure we got a full tank of gas. Got water coming out of them. Let all the air get out of everything, and we'll see what we got to work with here.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Woo! There you go. There you go. Come on now. Yeah. Come on. Come on, baby. Go ahead. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go ahead. Easy now.
It's still getting air out of the hose. I hear it coming through. It's running both of them. When I turned the hose on for this one, I could tell a little bit of a drop in that one out there, but it's still running them both. They're both running pretty good. That's nice right there. That's what we wanted. But I believe this is going to work for us. One other thing I want to show y'all while we're down here at this garden. Since this end over here is where we've been having problem, it looks like, with the deer, I'm going to assume the deer or the rabbit or whatever it is that's coming in is coming in from this corner of the woods over here. So we've seen this on Danny and Wanda's channel, Deep South Homestead, or Pecan Grove. Every time something walks by it, well, that right there is what happens. And it's like solar powered. So I'm hoping that helps deter anything else that may be trying to get into our garden down here. They came off of Amazon, and you come with 3 in a box, and it's pretty cool. I imagine it's one of those things that something like a deer would eventually get used to, but for now, maybe it'll at least deter them to the point that they're like, hey, you know, something's going on down there. Let's leave that place alone. I was about to get a little disappointed with that Honda pump, but right now, it's working wonderful. It's running fine. It ain't missing a beat. So I think it's going to be good. Maybe it just had something in it where it was brand new. It needed to work some kinks out or something. I don't know. But it's running great down there right now. Listen to it purring like a kitten. Is that rain? All right. Well, y'all, trying to load that bull didn't quite go as expected. We never actually put it under any pressure or anything.
No, he just he decided that he didn't want me under here no more, and he just hopped this gate.
So
pretty as you ever seen, and looked at us. And
I honestly wish that we'd have had all that on video, because y'all, this bull, we had him up here going into the trailer. He wouldn't ever go. So even though I knew I shouldn't have, I decided to get in here, and I wasn't really going to push him or anything. I just wanted to get in here and sort of.
He literally just got in here, and like it just tore that bull up.
It did. It tore him out of the frame.
Well,
and I say it tore him out of the frame. He got a little bit nervous and shaky, and he started making circles looking for a way out of here. But then there was a couple of times he wanted to go on the trailer. And so the whole reason I got in here was I was going to kind of walk up behind him and see if I couldn't just sort of nudge him a little bit on the trailer, because I already knew he was a little bit shaky around me, so I wasn't going to get crazy around him. But I just wanted to nudge him a little bit onto the trailer. Well, it didn't work. And so he started hunting ways out of here. And he comes over here to this gate and gets right above it and just hops over it like a deer.
I mean, just pretty as you ever seen. And then he didn't run away. He just stood there and looked at us like, I told y'all it won't be.
Yeah, he didn't even run. He stood right there. And now they've went down in the pasture. They're gone now. But anyways, I'll show you what he done here. He knocked it off the he knocked it off the hinges there and took the gate down with him.
Yep. And bent it like a tin can.
Yeah,
I mean,
he done it like it wasn't made out of anything.
Like it was a tin can. But that's just part of working with cows. I mean, you can't get mad. Ain't no reason to get mad at him. He's just doing. Cows are smart in ways that they figure out how to get themselves out of situations. They're prey animals, so they will do whatever it takes
to get out of that situation.
Get out of that situation if they feel like they need to. And well, there you go.
But we've got one more thing to be excited about, which I'm not sure we're going to get much out of it, but
there's a storm trying to blow in.
Yeah, you see that right there? There's a storm trying to come in, and it's actually raining right now at the moment. It's not very hard. I don't think the camera's picking it up. But I told y'all, if we figured out how to get all that fixed down there,
hey, that's all right. If that's what
it's going to rain.
If that's what it took, that's what it took.
Megan's going to fool with the bull some more tomorrow, hoping that maybe she can coax him on there. And
it's actually raining pretty good.
It is. It's coming a decent little shower.
I'm about to just go stand out there
It really is. I don't know how long it's going to last. Hopefully it lasts a while, but you know, they wasn't even really calling for rain today. I don't know though, the sky's looking sort of promising.
Anyways, guys, I hope y'all really enjoyed today's video. Like we say all the time, we're just trying to show y'all what life's really like. Just like a bull busting through the gate, things don't always go like it's supposed to.
Once again, we really should have had the camera on, but we were just trying to get the bull loaded.
At that point, we were both hot and tired and like, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna either get him on here or something.
Well, it would have made excellent video. But like I said, we were just trying to get the bull on here because we really had high hopes we was going to take it home tonight.
Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, Daddy said by the end of the month he'd like him back, so I got all week.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get him on there before the week goes. But anyways, y'all.
Till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one. Well, second try. He's on the trailer and it only took me about 15 minutes. So, you know, us restarting yesterday, he must have gotten a better mood. Maybe from the rain last night. Maybe he was just hot and mad yesterday. But Mr. Bull's heading to the house. Well, he's back to his home. And right to work.